Bovino is out. It looks like Gnome is shelved, I would say. Although Trump was asked specifically, is she getting fired? And he said no. Also, word on the street is that her skin was saved by the first lady.
Melania. Yeah, because
Yep.
they're friends.
I
I don't know.
mean, you have to appreciate a man that'll listen to his wife, I guess.
That's right. That's
Even
right.
if it's not the best advice.
She's loyal, apparently, to Christine. So,
Yep.
Welcome to Rivera and Reeves, the podcast where we break through the bias, report the news, and occasionally trip over our soapboxes while ranting about the headlines.
Every week, we tackle the biggest stories with sharp analysis, unfiltered honesty, and just enough sarcasm to keep it fun.
So pull up a chair, grab your coffee, and join us as we wade through the spin because the media's trash and we have zero patience for their nonsense.
Hey, friends, welcome back to another episode of Rivera and Reeves. I'm Mercedes. I'm here with my friend Rachel. Say hello, Rachel.
hello, Rachel.
I'm all jazzed up here, okay?
Yeah.
I inhaled my lunch.
What did you
and then
have?
I was like, I don't even want to admit what I had.
Well, it's got to be better than what I have, so go ahead. What was it?
We had Taco Bell.
Oh, I love Taco Bell. I mean,
just had,
our Maha friends are going to be like, this is so disappointing.
And I went to the gym this morning and everything, but I was just
it's all about balance. That's what
I didn't have time. And then unfortunately, I have this really yucky Diet Pepsi.
Diet Pepsi. Oh, see, we have a Taco Bell and a McDonald's right by each other in town.
I will buy Taco Bell and then go to McDonald's.
I do that same thing. Now, I try to stay away from Taco Bell, not because I don't think it's delicious and I love it. And you all can comment and shame all you want. I don't even care. But because my stomach no longer at 45 is like, welcome. It is like, it rejects Taco Bell very quickly. I mean, almost always. So if I have to be really craving it in order to take that chance, because
thankfully I'm still good.
Yeah.
Sure.
But I will go.
Well, what's your order?
Okay. I like me a 5-layer burrito. I like the 5-layer burrito.
That's why your tummy gets upset.
Okay, right? But what makes me mad about Taco Bell is they've taken off like the good stuff. At least mine does. They don't do tostadas anymore. I used to get tostadas and I loved those.
Was tostadas on the menu? They have the
For
Mexican pizza back.
Yeah, for my entire life it was tostadas. It was just like the shell, the round shell with beans and cheese, lettuce, tomato. I would get that. And I also loved Mexi Melts. Those were good, but they don't have those on the menu anymore. Ours doesn't have Mexican pizza on it anymore. And they don't have the Nacho Bel Grande on anymore, which is also, that was like high school staple. And then cinnamon twists, like obviously.
But what, they don't have cinnamon twists now? Or
Not on ours anymore.
Okay, you need to come up or down. Where am I? You need to come down here.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is if I'm really, really craving, I will roll through and get a 5-layer burrito. And then I will go across the street to McDonald's to get my crispy Diet Coke because
it's the best one.
Diet Pepsi, I'd rather drink water, and I hate drinking water.
It's unfortunate, but I only had so many choices, so that's
you gotta do what you gotta do. I had a cucumber that was left over on my daughter's plate from her lunch, and then I realized we had to go record. So I am running on 2 Diet Dr. Peppers and a Persian cucumber with some salt.
That sounds great. All right.
Delicious.
So before I get us started on today's episode, if this is your first time here, welcome. You have found your new favorite podcast. Make sure you hit that follow button so you don't miss another episode. For our paying subscribers, alert, pay attention because this Saturday at 11:30, we will be doing Unfiltered live episode exclusively for our paying subscribers, right?
Yes.
And if you can't make it, do not fret, my dear, because it will be recorded and it will be published. And I think we're going to open up a chat too to let other people drop questions. So in case you can't be there at 11:30, you can still ask some questions. And then when you come back, it's there for us to answer.
And it's not going to be all political. I
No.
get it that you guys tune in on Tuesday, Thursday for that kind of content, but this will be more fun and
Unfilters are more laid back, a little bit more personal, a little bit more off the cuff, completely unedited. And now we're adding an extra element. It's live and we want your participation in our conversation.
And we'll be eating. I'll be eating. It'll be 11:30. I will be eating food.
Just be warned.
I let you know.
So if you want to join
cucumber.
if you want to join us this Saturday, there is a link in the show notes to become a paying subscriber. All right. Remember, we're always on your favorite podcast app, and the next day we are on YouTube. If you want to listen to us ad-free, and as soon as I hit publish, that is also a benefit that we give to our paying subscribers. All right, so what are we talking about today? There's so much news all the time. And Rachel, naively, she's like, what are we going to talk about today? I'm like,
I did.
"Girl."
I even said, I don't feel like there's tons to talk about. And as soon as I typed it, I was like, silly Rachel. There's always tons to talk about. I just hadn't imbibed the news as much this morning.
Well, you've
Too
been
much was
dealing
going
with
on.
the Lamb situation.
And then this morning, Sean goes out and he's doing whatever. And then all of a sudden we see a dog wandering on our property next to all the sheep and new baby sheeps. And so we're out there kind of freaking out, like, what's happening? We got to get this dog off our property, but we don't know. I mean, we don't want to approach it, but we kind of have to. So I don't know. It's always something with these animals. And especially since it's so cold.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yep.
oh, Ave.
We still have the rave going on in the backyard with the chickens. So
Yep.
All right. So what are we talking about today? Unfortunately, there is another update. There's more updates on Minneapolis. And I'm really hoping with the news that we have today, Minneapolis is going to fall off to
the background.
the wayside. Yeah, it's going to be fallen into the background. So we're going to do that. We're also going to be talking about something that just went down yesterday in Fulton County, Georgia, which have the Democrats in a tizzy. All right.
Yes.
Which I think a lot of our listeners may not even be aware of this story because
But if they're not, they will be shortly.
Yes. And so that is why we're covering it. So you're informed and you're also attuned to the narrative that is shaping.
Yep. Yes.
All right. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to start us with the news, more news out of Minneapolis. Okay. We all know where we're at. Okay. We've had the 2 shootings that happened between federal officers, and then there was the Renee Good and Alex Preti. Now, Alex Preti happened this past Saturday. Yes. Correct. I'm like trying to like make sure I keep my everything intact. There's been a shakeup in the administration on who is going to be leading. If you follow on either one of our Substacks, you've seen these stories in our newsletters. Okay. Plus you're a listener here, so you're informed.
Yeah, obviously. You already knew.
Clearly. You're like, we're the most informed group ever on the history of the world. I'm going to act like Trump does. Ever in the history of the world.
Thank you for your attention to this matter.
All right. So the updates that have happened. Bovino is out. It looks like Nome is shelved, I would say. Although Trump was asked specifically, is she getting fired? And he said no. Also, word on the street is that her skin was saved by the first lady.
Melania. Yeah, because they're friends.
So, I
don't know.
mean, you know, you have to appreciate a man that'll listen to his wife, I guess.
That's right.
You know,
That's
even
right.
if it's not the best advice.
Yeah. Well, she's loyal, apparently, to Christine. So.
Yep. Recent development also is that the officers involved in Alex Preti's shooting have been put on administrative leave.
That's
which, frankly,
standard procedure. That's normal.
It's standard procedure, but I'm a little surprised that it took that long for it to be.
I'm kind of surprised we don't know more about them. Like that nothing's been leaked about which officers these were, what was their rank, how long had they been
I think that speaks a lot to this administration because any past administration would have immediately been open to hanging out law enforcement, like just hanging them out to dry, you know? So I think it speaks to that. And also, it's another reason. I mean, I know it upsets some people, but it's also why the officers are masked because their families get harassed.
Correct.
So what is the most recent detail? So Tom Homan, who is the border czar, is now in charge of the operations in Minneapolis. He's spoken with Walz and Frey, which they both put out some interesting statements, basically saying they appreciate the change of tone and the professionalism of Homan, but also we're not going to cooperate. But interestingly, those were the public-facing statements. Interestingly, there was a press conference this morning where Homan shared a little bit, which we're going to get into in a moment. But before that, in addition, so that was announced, that was like at 8:00 this morning, that press conference, which is
I missed that one. I was up to
early
my
for a
eyeballs in
press
children.
conference.
Yeah, it wasn't happening. I didn't watch it.
But one of the things that really started to gain traction yesterday was this debate about a new video that surfaced about Alex Preti on January 13th, which is about 11 days before he was shot this past Saturday. And I'm going to play this because this isn't, let me just preface this, okay? This isn't about litigating the justification of the shooting at all, because this was 11 days before and it has nothing to do with it. It's like the conversation that we have had before. This is about how Preti is being presented to people, especially to women, and how we've seen this like narrative kicked up about him, and this particular video brings that into question.
Well, and also it's just additional information. I shared the video yesterday, and I had not so many, but predictably all of the left-leaning or progressive followers I have immediately jumped into my DMs. Why are you posting this? It's almost like you're saying you're okay with him being shot. I was like, okay, first of all, no. Second of all, my job is literally to give people information about what's happening in the news. And if there was additional information about the cop that was relevant and that he had done
would also share that.
I would be sharing that too. So the cognitive dissonance it's just interesting. It's like they believe that by you sharing this about him, you are offering people an out for him getting shot, and so you can support law enforcement and not feel as bad about it. And that's not it at all. It's much more about exposing what liberal, mostly women, are trying to kind of wish cast that this guy was. He was just this quiet, sweet nurse that had never been in trouble, never provoked anybody in his entire life. In fact, his only job is to save people, and that's what he was doing that day. And this offers more context and allows us to kind of get outside our bubbles a little bit when things like this happen and say, I want to wait for a little more information.
Well, that in addition to the fact that the general narrative is that these all are peaceful protesters. They're just legal observers.
They're not agitators at all.
They're not agitators, and it is the officers that are causing the friction. So that just, in addition, brings that into context outside of Alex Preti. So I'm going to share it here now with everyone.
This is a moment the news movement filmed on January 13th in Minneapolis, showing a man who appears to be Alex Preti interacting with federal immigration agents 11 days before Border Patrol shot and
killed him again and busted the tail light.
Footage was analyzed by the BBC, whose facial recognition technology confirmed his identity to a 97% degree of accuracy.
And they're taking him down.
On the morning of January 13th, our team received a tip that federal agents were blocking a street at the corner of East 36 and Park Avenue in Minneapolis. We arrived around 10:15 a.m. We saw observers shouting at the agents as they walked back to their vehicles. When they started driving away, the man kicked their taillight. An agent then got out of the vehicle, grabbed him, and pushed him to the ground. During the altercation, agents fired tear gas and pepper balls into the crowd. They continued to hold the man down before they retreat, and he walks away. The man in our footage is wearing a similar outfit to what Preti was wearing on the day he was killed. What appears to be a gun is also visible above his waistband.
All right, so that goes on for a little while longer. It's about like a almost 3-minute video. You guys can see it on both of our Instagram feeds if you want to see the full video.
Couple
Were you gonna
thoughts.
say something? Yeah, go ahead.
First of all, I don't know if it showed it in there, but there's video now that's also come out of him prior to even that altercation.
Do you want me?
Play it. Do you have it?
Yeah, I have it. Let's go ahead and play that too.
Look at you! Pepper spray, bitch! Fucking assault me, motherfucker!
He just spit at the officers. That's where he kicks the vehicle.
So he basically is saying he's F you guys, you're effing trash. And then didn't he say come at me? Like,
yeah, he did. Come at me, assault me. Like, so he's antagonizing these officers. Right. And for an individual to be carrying a firearm, I'm just going to say it. If you're carrying a firearm, it's not that he doesn't have the right to, but you really should not go. And first of all, firearm or no firearm, that's an offense. To kick a vehicle, a federal vehicle, and bust a taillight like that, to hit a federal vehicle in any way, that is a federal offense.
He was also spitting at them.
That is a type of assault.
Correct. So my second thought is he should have been arrested. I don't know why they didn't arrest him and they just let him go. So he should have been arrested then. That could have possibly prevented what happened on Saturday. And then my next thought was observing these white ladies standing within arm's reach of these police officers, screaming bloody murder at them, yelling, calling them all manner of names, cursing at them, top of their lungs, just out of control of their bodies and minds, and thinking that that is safe, or that that's going to help the situation, or that's going to help this man who's now they're trying to detain him or whatever they did, which they didn't. The whole thing is just a cluster. It's a mess.
Well, I mean, and it kind of feeds a little bit into, I mean, unfortunately on Saturday, one of the things that escalated the situation with Preti was this woman that inserted herself when the officer came and pushed Preti out of the street. Like that escalated things, that she decided that she was going to come in because let me tell you something about the ladies. I'm a woman. You can't hit me. You can't hurt. So they feel often emboldened to come in and step into situations because they don't have that threat that you have when it's two men confronting each other. When two men are confronting each other, you have a higher probability of somebody getting punched in the face than if you're a female confronting a male. Like it's just a fact.
Yes.
Okay. So now the debate has, first of all, the cope that happened initially of claims that this was AI or that it was not Alex Preti, or that it wasn't even a valid news source, or that the BBC did not certify it. So the video is from the News Movement, which actually is kind of like a Vice type of outlet.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
The BBC did come out and confirm that they did evaluate and give that 97 percentile of identifying him with facial recognition. And then later the family came out and admitted that that was Alex Preti. Yeah. So if anybody's saying that it's AI or that's not a real video, that is false.
Okay.
And then the bigger issue here is because then the debate became, like you said, that we're trying to justify what happened. Which is absolutely not the case. It's the issue of, I wish I had this video. You had Elizabeth Warren on the floor of the Senate.
Yeah.
Making a speech of how Preti just was he wouldn't hurt a fly. He wouldn't do anything, that he was a noble person that was fighting and he's on the right side of history. All of that type of verbiage is what we're hearing. And that was all the type of verbiage that you were hearing from many of the influencers, which are probably still saying it, obviously, because they, either are denying the video or haven't seen the video, that he was just a sweet, wholesome, benevolent ICU nurse that wouldn't hurt a fly.
Right.
By the way, that is the other thing that I wanted to bring up is this talking point that somehow if you're a nurse, you can't possibly do anything mean-spirited or wrong or want to hurt anybody.
We've seen a lot of that lately. I've seen several videos of medical professionals saying, I'm going to deny you service because you're wearing a MAGA hat, or I want to, poison.
Well, most recently, there have been two nurses in particular that have shown up and been featured in a lot of videos. And I have clips here. So the first one, actually, there's 3. So there was one that was arrested that I have an image of like when her arrest happened, which is this one right here. So this is reported by Libs of TikTok. It says one of the anti-ICE rioters arrested in Minnesota has been identified as a registered nurse. Freya James Ebbison, and then she's like asking, would you feel comfortable if this was a nurse? So she is not just a nurse, but she is an RN, birth assistant, and clinic nurse. Okay. Then we also have these 2 ladies.
As a labor and delivery nurse, it gives me great joy to wish Caroline Levitt a 4th degree tear. I hope that you rip from bow to stern and never normally again. You.
I thought of something good. I think it's something weird spot. Sabotage tactic, or at least scare tactic. All the medical providers, grab some syringes with needles on the end. Have them full of saline or succinylcholine, whatever. That will probably be a deterrent.
Succinylcholine or whatever she said there, that's a paralytic. Okay. The first, not the first one, but the first video of the woman, she is based in Florida and her license has been revoked by the what do you call them?
The board
Oh my
of
gosh.
medical
Yes,
professionals.
the surgeon, I'm blanking out. But anyways, her license has been revoked. And then
Excellent.
the second one, she was at a Virginia health clinic or center or something. She's been fired or put on administrative leave at least.
Please tell me they take away her license too.
I don't know. I know that she actually did like 3 or 4 videos where they were just like, so that one she's suggesting to inject people with ice with a paralytic. She suggests that women get on dating apps and then try and get an ICE officer out on a date and slip them X-Lax, I think is what she was saying, to put them out of service for like a day or 2. And then like another one was to fill a spray bottle with poison ivy infused water. And then spray it on the officers if you have to engage with them. So that's like good. That's the like my point here isn't not all nurses my point here is that there's like this narrative of they were just such a good nurse. A nurse would never want to, because the Hippocratic Oath and everything. Like, we have been here. We have done that. We remember how it was in 2020. We remember many of the responses from some of these healthcare providers after Charlie Kirk. So,
well, and we see the same thing. We see the same thing with educational spaces when it came to COVID, when it came like shutting schools down, when it came to even after Charlie Kirk was murdered too. There were plenty of teachers, public school teachers, who were posting all kinds of inappropriate things. There were tons of them at different protests and then talking about what they're going to tell their kids in class, engaging in discussions about anything other than reading, writing, and arithmetic, talking about activism. And so we see this in the education space too. It's these professions that people feel like they can't touch, they can't criticize, they can't question. It's a hotbed for activism.
Yeah, because it's supposed to already, because you are already working in an environment that is viewed as self-sacrificing.
Yeah, exactly.
Then that either gives you more weight when you're providing the criticism towards the administration, and it also absolves you or protects you more from allegations of losing your mind and suggesting that people should be injected with things to paralyze them or kicking a taillight of a federal officer's vehicle.
We have become unhinged.
For a moment. No, the wildest thing, I think the most extreme thing that's not fair. But MSNBC, did you see that they had to do an editor or note on one of their YouTube videos because they had ended up using an AI image of Preti?
I did.
So for those of you who are viewing, I'm going to put up the picture. So this is the picture that they used on MSN Now. And then so we have the original photo, which is from his prior work, I think at the Veterans department or whatever. And then the AI edit, which makes him look darker, more handsome, more fit also. And I don't know. Look, I don't know if MSNBC edited the photo themselves or if they pulled a photo off the internet that somebody else had edited and chose to use that video. Like, I don't know which way it went. The point being is that I have now seen multiple images of Preti looking better than he should, or that it appears that he is. It's not like I think it's so funny where people was like, you like that doesn't look like you don't know the dude. I don't know the dude. All I know is that that's the picture that he had up on the wall where he used to work.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, and it looks very different from the one that they put up on MSNBC.
Yeah.
So I thought that was crazy. So now we come back to today. And today, Tom Homan held a press conference bright and early. Now, Homan has been in Minneapolis, what, has it been 2 days already? I think he was there 2 days before he held a press conference today.
I thought he got there yesterday. Man, what day is today? Thursday?
I don't know. Everything's like going so fast.
Yeah, I know.
But he did a presser this morning, and I'm going to share a few clips, 2 clips from the presser, and then I'll give you a rundown of exactly what he also discussed.
In the past few days, I've met with Governor Walz, Attorney General Ellison, Mayor Fry, numerous police chiefs and sheriffs, and I have more to meet. I'll also be continuing the dialogue with business and religious leaders in partnership. I came here to seek solutions, and that's what we're going to do. And we've come a long way, and we got some good wins for the people of Minnesota, I think, and for the administration and for the safety and security of this city. One thing we did agree on, though, everybody I talked to agreed on, was that community safety is paramount. One thing we all agreed on was U.S. Immigration Customs Enforcement is a legitimate law enforcement agency that has a duty to enforce the laws enacted by Congress and keep this community safe. And he has clarified for me that county jails may notify ICE of the release dates of criminal public safety risks so ICE can take custody of them upon the release from the jail. And let me tell you why that's important. I know people are a lot concerned about the manpower has been set in law enforcement manpower. Look, I've said this many times before. I've said it for the last several years. Give us access to the illegal alien public safety threat and the safety and security of a jail. It's common sense. It's safer for the community, it's safer for the agent, and it's safer for the alien. Because anything can happen on a street arrest. It just makes common sense. And for the people that argue, well, we're a welcoming community because we want victims and witnesses of crime that are here illegally to feel safe to come to police without fear they're working with ICE, we're not going to talk to the victim and witness of crime. There's no problem there. They should feel safe to come to police and ask for help. All we want is to talk to the person that local and state law enforcement authorities locked in a jail cell.
First of all, that was probably the biggest news that he announced. And he was talking about how he spoke with Ellison, who is the AG of Minnesota, and that he agreed to allow, because that was the contention. It was like whether or not ICE could apprehend or do an exchange of illegal migrants who are already in jail.
Well, and
not prison,
Ellison is like
jail.
Resistant to helping at all. Ellison wants nothing to do with, he wants them out.
All of the language that's been coming from Walz, from Fry, and from Ellison have all been like, they go and say, well, we're not going to enforce federal immigration law. Well, nobody's asking you to enforce federal immigration law. We're simply what the administration is simply asking is like, if you have someone,
hand them over for us to do our job.
Notify us and hand them over. So that was a big deal. Now, Homan also said, he specifically said, yes, we are going to draw down. But draw down does not mean that we're not going to be doing targeted operations. So what we're not, this is what he said during the press conference. What you're not going to see are the roving, like, Border Patrol officers who would jump out of a car, grab someone, check them, and then, whether or not they were ready for deportation. There's not going to be, that's not going to happen anymore. But then he was like, look, I can't even, he's like, even if we do ICE targeted operations, we need law enforcement to also be there to provide protection for our ICE agents if this disruption continues to happen. And that's the other issue, is that the reason that we have seen such a rise, which I've said this before, the talking point, they're like, well, they have like 3,000 or 4,000 officers because local PD is not helping and protect the officers that are trying to conduct these operations.
Yes, they had to send more naturally to make sure that everybody had each other's back.
Like, I don't want to.
Pretty
like,
basic.
It's
It's so easy. I'm not a law enforcement officer. I don't work in that field. And even I'm like, I feel like this could be wrapped up, solved pretty quickly if everybody participating was just, I don't know, communicating with one another. But they're not on the same page. They don't have the same end goal, and they don't have the same ideology, the same idea of what safety, precautions, what justice means. We're dealing with two different
and I think
types
part of it
people.
is because they have this mentality, again, and we've talked about this, that they're like, well, they haven't been prosecuted for anything.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not that, because they haven't been prosecuted for a criminal charge. Let's say, like, you get arrested and you end up in prison and you have not been prosecuted yet. The issue there is that Minnesota or Minneapolis has no cash bail, and then they release them back into the street.
Right. Yes.
Then the ICE deportation, like, they get word, and then they have to retrieve them from the street because they still have a right to arrest them. They don't need that conviction from local law enforcement or from the city. Okay,
Right.
These are two separate things.
Yes.
So if you have, it's like almost saying, like, I get arrested in Georgia, for example, for a DUI, and I have a charge on me in Tennessee, and they look that up and they find that typically officers pick up the phone and they're like, oh, hey, by the way, we have this person that you have a charge on, here in our jail. Do you want to come pick them up? That happens often between states when we're just talking about regular criminal charges. I don't understand. Like, it is clearly to me political, because it's when it comes to a federal versus state
That's
situation.
exactly what it is.
When it specifically comes to immigration.
Yeah.
I want to play something for you.
Okay, play it.
For example,
Hmm.
there are those in
This
the
is
immigrants' rights
2010.
community who have argued passionately that we should simply provide those who are illegally with legal status, or at least ignore the laws on the books and put an end to deportation until we have better laws. And often this argument is framed in moral terms. Why should we punish people who are just trying to earn a living? I recognize the sense of compassion that drives this argument. But I believe such an indiscriminate approach would be both unwise and unfair. It would suggest to those thinking about coming here illegally that there will be no repercussions for such a decision. And this could lead to a surge in more illegal immigration.
I wonder when that happened.
Yeah, really.
It would also ignore the millions of people around the world who are waiting in line to come here legally.
Who is this man?
Ultimately, our nation, like all nations, has the right and obligation to control its borders and set laws for residency and citizenship.
Yeah, he would not say any of that now.
He's posting about, like, Minneapolis needs to continue to fight for, and I'm just like,
It's
dude.
amazing how these people, and that is when oftentimes I feel like Donald Trump isn't appreciated enough, because you can hate what he says, But at the moment he's saying it, he really does mean it. And
Yeah.
when I hear Barack Obama say that, I think he actually believes that to be true because it's common sense. And literally every country in the world has some kind of border structure and enforcement, because if you don't have it, you don't have a country, right? So I think he actually believes that to be true in some sense, because all like sentient thinking normal people should believe that. Um but if you asked him now, he would like skirt around it. He would have to wordsmith his way out because
because it would be in
it's not going
opposition,
to work for him.
and it would be in opposition of the Democrat Party. That's why.
Right.
Like,
and that's when Donald Trump shines, because he just says the thing, and it doesn't always align with his party.
and sometimes you're like,
What?
why are you doing
Yeah,
that?
but I do believe he's sincere, which is, I'm sure I'm going to get someone thinking I'm crazy for saying that, but I'm not saying I love everything he says. I'm just saying I think he really thinks and believes what he says.
Yeah. I mean, I also wanted to play that because Tom Homan worked under the Obama administration.
Yes.
He got a medal from Obama for doing such a bomb job deporting people. Okay. He and Homan during the press conference said basically the same thing. He's like, we cannot just let people come in and then let them stay. Because he said, look, we're going to do these targeted operations, but if you're here illegally, you are still on the table.
Yeah.
So in other words, if we do this operation, or if something comes up or someone gets arrested and you haven't been convicted of anything, like we don't have, but you come on our radar in any way and
It's
you
free
are here
game.
illegally,
You are still, yes.
you are
get
getting deported.
Yes, this is normal. This is normal. And I understand that people don't want to think it's normal because they have gotten used to a vast array of incompetence in the last 4 years. They're not used to things moving fast and getting done. And I understand that the optics can make people unsettled. But this is the way it is in every country. There's border enforcement. You have to have borders. And we are by far the most generous country when it comes to allowing asylum seekers to come here and stay, to have visa holders be here, green card holders, to I understand the process can be arduous and it can take a long time. I get that. But you're not going to find a more generous country anywhere in the world. We have the most diverse country. We have so much to offer here, and that we do offer immigrants. And to act like what we're doing now, to have to go back and fix this problem, that's cruel and unusual, is bonkers to me.
Well, and it's just like very frustrating because I'm watching this press conference and Homan's there like, and we agreed that ICE is a legitimate federal law enforcement.
The fact that you have to say that,
using and enacting the law that Congress passed. And I mean, the fact that we even have to get here.
Well,
and
but we
say
do,
that.
because some people don't. There's plenty of people who don't think it's legitimate. There's plenty of people who don't think the executive branch or Congress are legitimate.
Did you hear this DA out of Pennsylvania?
Which one? The one telling them that it's not a legit.
Yes,
Play it. You have the clip. You have it.
Let me make sure I have it because I'm pretty sure. Do I have it? Georgia State Nurse. Yep, here we go.
This is a small bunch of wannabe Nazis. That's what they are. In a country of 350 million, we outnumber them. If we have to hunt you down the way they hunted down Nazis for decades, we will find your identities. We will find you. We will achieve justice.
What?
That was yesterday.
What?
That is a DA, a current. Now, he's not running for DA. He is a DA in Philadelphia. Okay? So then, please explain to me.
That's incitement to violence. Like, he could be charged with something. He has to. Or did he use his words clever enough, being a DA, to know that he could get out of some charge?
Calling for anyone to be hurt or anything like that. But I mean, I was just like, you're insinuating it, which is why we have reached. Like, I am sorry, but I know that right now we're incredibly divided. Okay, and I know people see things depending on what they're fed. I watch all of the stuff. Okay. And so I get it. I get the emotional pull that some of these stories have. But you cannot tell me from one day to the next, and I'm saying that like it happens from one administration to the next, that all of a sudden ICE or Border Patrol are Nazis, or that, you can't trust them, or that they're doing something illegal when they're deporting and arresting illegals. Like, I don't get it. And I get really frustrated because it's like this battle of messaging, but of the chicken and the egg. So what happened first? Is it because ICE came in? Because we don't see this in any of the other cities. Okay.
Right.
So
we talked about this on Tuesday, even some of the cities that have way more enforcement that's happening.
But even cities that you can say that Louisiana and Texas, for example, cooperated. So much more enforcement happened, and it happened a lot quieter because there was cooperation. But we also didn't see this extent in Washington or Illinois or California. Like, you just haven't seen it to this degree.
No.
And it's because there is a level of cooperation that still was happening, as opposed to in Minneapolis, there has been none whatsoever.
Cooperation.
And let me tell you,
that's all on that administration, that state administration. This is on them 100%.
Well, and I think, look, if we're going to talk about, because we'd like to do like a overview of like the politics of it. And I will grant you that the optics and the narrative and the politics of it and all of the finger pointing that happened between, Noam and Stephen Miller and Corey, it doesn't look, that's not good. And that doesn't help. And so right now the politics are in this particular issue is in the favor of the Democrats. But let me tell you, they have an incredible ability to step on the rake and hit themselves in the face.
Yes.
And they're trending in that direction between resisting cooperation. Like, you have Tom Homan doing a press conference saying, hey, look, we're going to be willing to scale back and stand down and focus on these things if you agree that you're going to help protect our officers when they're enforcing federal law. You don't have to do the immigration, but you have to help protect us.
Yes.
And that you cooperate with exchanges. So, and then you still have Fry. Fry, I think, is in D.C. right now in some kind of mayor roundup meeting
like
or whatever.
But they've said he's like planning on speaking out about what's happening. Obviously, he's going to grandstand again. It's kind of like their MO.
And then, in addition to that, you have the whole situation that's happening and that's playing out on the Hill with the budget,
the shutdown. Something needs to happen.
When the shutdown is like
tomorrow midnight.
Okay,
tomorrow
I was
midnight.
like, so I don't know what the
and
status
the Senate, while we've been recording, the Senate.
Okay, that was what I was about to say.
It. They didn't pass.
So
it.
the test vote didn't pass.
Correct.
In the Senate,
the Parliament.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, but here's the situation, though. Okay, so the talking point is that the Democrats want to. So there's like 6 bills or 5. I can't remember, but they want to separate the out
5.
one that has to do with DHS and pass the rest of them, right? Yep. And then negotiate the DHS bill separately. And the overall talking point is like, defund DHS or defund ICE or whatever. Like, this is kind of just the general talking point for like the normies.
Yeah.
The problem is that Border Patrol and ICE are already funded.
Yeah. For through 2029. They have $7 billion sitting there. They don't this is only $10 billion allotted for new DHS or new ICE operations. They don't need that money to carry on their operations they're doing right now.
And by shelving the DHS bill, they also shelve FEMA. They shelve TSA.
Coast Guards, right?
Yeah, there's several other things that are under DHS that end up getting negatively affected if they decide to shelve that, all right?
Yep.
I don't know how that's going to pan out, but let me tell you one thing. Like, I'm fine if they want cameras on the officers and they want to pay for funding to put body cams on them. I don't care about that. That's fine.
Yeah.
Whatever. But this report that allegedly they want to force judicial warrants for deportations and for immigration is insane to me.
Yes.
Just as much as I was opposed to these administrative warrants or questioning administrative warrants being used even with final deportation orders to go into someone's house.
Yeah.
I think it is absolutely insane to require a judicial warrant in order to do targeted operations to deport someone,
Well,
which
and
is
first of
typically
all,
done with an
half
administrative warrant.
half of them are going to get denied because of activist judges. And then it's going to slow roll everything. It's going to make everything slower. It's all going to take forever to get anything done. No.
It's basically a type of amnesty.
Yeah.
Like, if you think about it, and I don't even know how that would be legal, because the fact that immigration is specifically under the executive branch.
Yeah.
So then to force it through the judicial branch, like, I don't even know how that would work out. I would hope that it would get challenged, but then that slows everything else down.
I think the confusion is the point. I think that confusing who's supposed to be doing what and when, and that's meant to slow this whole thing and to a halt, because they don't want any of this to move forward.
Well, and I mean, look, I hate to put my tinfoil hat on, but I think this one is a pretty good looking one, honestly. The numbers when we are talking about the Electoral College are not looking good for
they're
the blue
not.
states.
No,
Like,
I
at
think
all.
that the red states picked up 8 electoral
And
votes.
this is
and the Democrats lost 1, I think.
No, they
I don't
have.
remember.
Well, I mean, they're projected for 2030 for it to be a drastic shift. Like California, like almost every blue wall state is estimated to lose at least 1. California is going to lose like 6. New York might lose, I think, up to 3. Meanwhile, you have purple and blue states all gaining anywhere between 1 and 5.
Yeah.
And that doesn't even factor in, we're still waiting for the Voting Rights Act argument. You know what I mean? They just lost the redistricting attempt in Virginia. Like,
it's not looking good for Democrats.
No.
They are, and they're worried because if they're losing all of these voters in their states, that's going to be a problem, a big problem.
If the current projections had held or had existed for this last election, Trump would not have needed any of those blue wall states.
No. He would have been just fine.
I mean, this would have been like a Reagan type electoral
Sweep.
win, and he wouldn't even need those states, which is crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. And you'd better believe that the Democrats are watching that, and they're scared because the idea to them of a Vance or a Rubio presidency 4 more years is what their nightmares are made of. You know what I mean?
I mean, Vance is already worse than Trump. So
to them,
Speaking of elections, there is a story that is all over the place for the Democrats or on the left. It's on MSNBC. I watch my news on the quad, and MSNBC has been going on nonstop about it. CNN has been covering it quite a bit, and it was or is that yesterday, the FBI executed a warrant in Fulton County's election offices.
Yeah.
And this is believed to be, it is reported to be in relation to the 2020 election. Actually, they're pretty much freaking out right now because of a few things. Okay. A few things that actually kind of make me laugh. So the FBI executes a search warrant in Fulton County's election office. This was at Union City in South Atlanta. And the spokesperson says that agents are executing a court-authorized law enforcement action. So they had a warrant. I read the warrant. The warrant was short, but it basically said all ballots, all types of ballots, absentee ballots, provisional ballots, same-day ballots, all ballots, including all tapes and broken tapes and anything that came out of a voting machine.
They wanted access to it because they want
all of it.
All of
Like
it.
I saw this guy go in, one of these FBI officers, and I saw one come in with a saw and the other one with a crowbar. Okay. So they're like breaking into something.
Oh my word.
Okay.
So those things were kept under lock and key and they're like, they're ours now.
Suppose, I don't know. Now, literally everybody on the left is freaking out about this.
Yes.
Like full panic mode.
Yes.
I'm going to have the Georgia state senator here kind of give you a little bit of a teaser as to why they're freaking out.
If they are able to modify the contents of these boxes, when I say they, I mean the Trump administration, then there's really no way of knowing what did happen in 2020. Their full intention is to take 700 boxes of ballots away from the 2020 election. The reason I know that is because there are two state election board members from Georgia in there, Jan and Sally, who have participated in election denial and conspiracy theories themselves, to be very clear. And Jan was on the phone and she said in front of me, they should take all 700 boxes away. So that is the clear intention of the people who are trying to grab these ballots to pursue conspiracy theories, is to grab as many ballots as possible. Apparently, those 700 boxes of ballots, they didn't have a warrant that quite covered what they wanted. So what they're having to do now is try to amend the warrant somehow. I've also heard from Fulton officials that there is no protection for chain of custody. There is no assurance that chain of custody is being preserved. That's so important because if they are able to modify the contents of these boxes, when I say they, I mean the Trump administration, then there's really no way of knowing what did happen in 2020.
Accompanied with that particular video was Ed Krassenstein's tweet where he said, breaking Georgia State. Yeah, it says Georgia State Senator Josh McLaurin claims the Trump administration could gain access to and potentially alter the contents of the 700 ballot boxes he just had the FBI take from Fulton County. He alleges, and we heard everything, and then he basically says it's like we're living in Russia at the end. So,
right.
Okay. Now, the claim is that this is all part of not just relitigating 2020,
but a grand
also
scheme for the midterms in 2028, right?
Which I'm not 100% grasping how this in particular has to do with the midterms, much less 2028.
I think I think what they're going to do is capitalize on the fact that many voters are pretty uninformed about how voting in elections work and what the administration, the executive branch, what rights they have to, looking at what different states and locales were doing. And so for them, it's all about presenting this kind of grand narrative that the Trump administration is obsessed with 2020. They can't let it go. And they're just coming in. He's already setting it up like the warrant isn't quite what they said it should be. Jan and Sally.
Chain of custody.
Yeah, Jan and Sally in the neighborhood are crazy MAGA ladies, and they're just like getting all 700,000 boxes for Trump because they're friends. They're kind of wanting to spin it into this, you guys, this is chaos. Trump's coming in and doing whatever he wants. And if he's allowed to do this, then who's to say that he's not going to steal 2026? And then there's that idea that if he does win, and they've kind of made this into this huge kerfuffle, this huge dramatic, cosplay of illegality, that then they can cast doubt on 2026 if Republicans take the midterms, and 2028 if Republicans win again. It's kind of a look at, they stole it. They stole the election, which would be rich too, because they were the ones getting so mad at Trump and some of MAGA that thought 2020 was stolen. But
yeah,
I don't know.
Well,
that's what
and I mean, this also kind of like, I saw the same thing happen when Pam Bondi did that letter to Walz asking to be able to review the voter rolls in Minnesota. So it's like any type of oversight by this administration over voter rolls either is to steal the election or to impede people's ability to for elections. Because the other thing is, like, I was watching MSNBC and they're talking about this, and it went from like relitigating 2020 to possibly trying to influence 2026 to possibly having ICE officers at ballot locations to intimidate voters.
That's been in the news for the last 2 days, and then they're coupling it with ICE going to Italy for the Olympics.
Oh, for the Olympics.
Yeah, and so they're just kind of making it, they're trying to marry all of this together. Like, look at the authoritarian nature of ICE. Look at what they're doing in different cities and states around the country. Now they're going to come and they're going to, stop you from voting. And then they're going to try and say that Georgia was stolen. And so, Democrats stole that election. And then they're also going to try and manipulate it for 2026 and 28. I just think that they're hoping that voters don't know exactly what they're talking about, and they can kind of be hoodwinked into thinking Trump is doing something nefarious when it comes to elections, and they're going to
Well,
steal 2026.
One of the things that I have not seen, because you heard him say, like, there are these Republicans that are wanting to bring this into question and also question the chain of evidence,
Yeah.
which I think is absolute. First of all, that they spoke with someone that was with the Electoral saying that there's no chain of evidence when they're speaking on behalf of the FBI. I'm like,
Yeah.
how do you know this? And
Yeah.
you do realize that without the FBI having a chain of evidence, anything that they wanted to attempt to prove would be dismissed by a judge.
Yeah.
Like, why would it, like, it just makes no sense. But the other thing that's not being reported is this statement, which was from which he talked about. He specifically said Julie Adams, right? So this is Fulton County, Georgia Republican Party. And she says the DOJ wrote the Fulton County in August last year asking for the ballots. DOJ wrote another letter in October asking again for the 2020 ballots and other records. 2 weeks ago, the FBI delivered a third letter, but the majority of the Fulton County Board of Elections literally denied these requests. The Georgia State Election Board has been trying for 4 years to get the records, including issuing a subpoena for the ballots and other records. And all of those efforts have failed until today. And then she goes on to applaud the president and everything like that. And then goes, and Bondi, and it goes and it says, it is my hope that the FBI is in the process of getting every box of 2020 election materials in that warehouse to be able to piece together once and for all the truth about 2020. I am dedicated to make sure to the best of my ability that elections in Fulton County are accurate. I don't have I'm not litigating this, right? I'm not going to go into like the 20, but my focus here is to pay attention to what is being omitted and also pay attention to what is being said. And specifically, that was a Democrat senator who's attacking this individual, Julie Adams, who I cannot vouch for. I have no idea who she is.
Neither do I.
But she's also pointing out something that nobody else is talking about, is that there were multiple attempts and requests for these. They dismissed those requests, and then a judge signed a warrant allowing the FBI to come in and do the search.
Yeah.
Now, who was lurking in the shadows?
I want to know who the judge is who signed the warrant.
I saw her name. It was a woman. I don't know. I didn't look her up to see.
I would have thought, though, that if it was a Republican appointed judge, that
somebody would have said something by now.
The media would have been like, well, of course, it's a Trump acolyte. So that makes me wonder, like, is it more of a centrist or a Democrat judge who signed it?
I honestly have no idea, but I will tell you this, who was there and had everybody
in a tizzy.
In a tizzy. So I can't even remember how many times I've been asked, what is Tulsi doing?
Yeah, she's quiet over there.
Yeah, she's been real quiet. Well, I can tell you where she was last night. Look at that.
She's lurking. She's got her black America flat, her dark MAGA hat on.
I know. Is it a dark MAGA hat on? It might
I don't
be.
know.
I don't know.
I think it has the American flag, but it's all black.
It's all black. That's so funny. So there were reports, images of her came out that she was there while they were executing this warrant. This particular picture was taken by Reuters, and she is literally like, this is so spy, like the spy aesthetic in this is like peak. Okay. Because for those of you who are listening, she is literally peeking out from behind a wall, or I think she's like in one of these like vehicle storage, because they had like semis come out, and she's like in the trailer on the phone, all dressed in black. So it looks very spy-esque. And it has many people freaking out because, now granted,
all the right people.
And I mean, it's interesting and it's kind of fair, because is it usual for DNI, the Director of National Intelligence, to be at a federal, like an FBI warrant execution?
Well, I mean, if they feel like there's a specific international threat to security, I suppose
that would be the only reason for her to be there. And there's been a lot of speculation
Mhm.
that the 2020 elections were influenced somehow by foreign actors.
Yeah.
Venezuela specifically comes into a
Mhm.
lot of this type of and the fact is that Trump alluded to this while he was in Davos.
Yes.
Do you remember that?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
He was like, the 2020 election, which I won, and some people are going to be
And some people,
prosecuted.
yeah, and some of you know that, and it's like,
And he
okay,
was like, that's breaking news, but you'll have to wait. Well, my guess is that this is it. This is what
this
we're
is the
waiting
breaking
for.
news. Yep.
So one of the meltdowns that happened was Senator Mark Warner, Democrat. He's Virginia, right? Yeah, Democrat for Virginia.
Yeah, he's mine. Mhm.
Yes.
Nice.
And he's one of the, I mean, he was peak during Russiagate and also the
Mhm.
Twitter files. He was all over the Twitter files. So this is the statement that he put out. He's also put out some videos, but I didn't grab the video. So the statement is, there are only two explanations for why the director of national intelligence would show up at a federal raid tied to Donald Trump's obsession with losing the 2020 election. Either Director Gabbard believes there was a legitimate foreign intelligence nexus, in which case she is in clear violation of her obligation under the law to keep the intelligence committees fully and currently informed of relevant national security concerns, or she is once again demonstrating her utter lack of fitness for the office that she holds by injecting the nonpartisan intelligence community she is supposed to be leading into a domestic political stunt designed to legitimize conspiracy theories that undermine our democracy, either as a serious breach of trust that further underscores why she is totally unqualified to hold a position that demands sound judgment, apolitical independence, and a singular focus on keeping the America safe.
It's
The
just like one big fat run-on sentence that like doesn't
I
have
know, I
anything
had
do
to
with
take a deep
anything.
breath.
So dumb. It's
look.
just all posturing. Come on.
I get that. Yes, he's the chairman of the Senate Intelligence Committee.
Right.
Vice chairman, I should say, because the Republican is the actual chairman. Yes, like they're supposed to be informed, but also these are like the leakiest people. Mark
Mhm.
Warner, for example, is one of the
Yeah.
leakiest people out there. So
Yeah.
am I surprised that if there's any foreign situation going on, that Tulsi Gabbard has kept her head down and has been busy, her little duck legs
Mhm.
swimming under the water?
Yeah, seriously. And maybe it's not in American security's best interest to tell a panel of people who are like, maybe I'll just go tell Politico. Maybe I'll just like leak a little something to the New York Times.
Tell the
Like,
Washington Post or something
no,
like
thank
that.
you.
Like,
No, thank you.
so I don't know. I will tell you, they are losing their minds right now. It is all over the left-leaning media. Like, if there's a blind spot right now on the right, this is probably one of the biggest blind spots right now.
Yeah.
Is their freak out here. I think it's an interesting story to keep track of. Do I know exactly? We won't know. We won't know for a little bit.
No. But I do think it could be one of the narratives that swoops in when the Alex Preti, I think that they're seeing that the Alex Preti narrative in Minneapolis is it's going to calm down here pretty soon, especially after the video that was released yesterday of Alex Preti, because it doesn't boost that narrative that they were trying to sell. They're going to have to pivot. And I think that this could be something they glom onto right now as we enter into a potential government shutdown, incompetence. That's what they're going to talk about. And then the future of elections and, midterms is going to be the most important election of our lifetime. I think that they're going to go with that.
Yeah. Well, it's going to be another round of like, we have to save democracy and keep these people in check, because if
Well, they're authoritarian, they're scary, they're killing
Exactly.
people in the streets, all that good stuff.
And we can't give them another 2 years of this chaos and all of this sort of thing. So, yeah. Keep your eye out. So, but yeah, that's all that's been going on in the news. I mean, obviously not all. We also
Not
have the
all,
president is sending armadas to Iran.
He's having a press conference or a
cabinet meeting right now.
cabinet meeting right now, and it said that it was the only one where he declined questions at the end. This is his 10th one, I think, or his 9th one. Yeah,
Interesting.
and he didn't call on Kristi Noem. Everybody's like wanting to point that out. Oh, he didn't call on her for her. You know how he was asked
also
for
probably why he didn't open it up for questions because of the whole situation in Minnesota.
He didn't call on Rubio either, to be fair. So it might not be just because she's Kristi Noem, but they might have thought it'd be smart if they didn't do questions for this one.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, Rubio spent all day yesterday on the Hill, answering questions about Venezuela and
That
Cuba.
guy.
And
He keeps winning.
There was some
winning.
highlights out of that one. My favorite was the one with Tim Kaine.
Oh, that was so good. He's sharp. He's quick on his feet. He's like Vance in that respect. I don't think he's quite as sharp as Vance is when it comes to the jabs, but he's quick thinking. And I think he's also served in Senate long enough. Like he's done with these people. He's like, I know how all of you work. It's no mystery to me what you're doing.
I know how the sauce is made. You're not surprising me. You're not going to set me up. I mean, Tim Kaine, because Trump, while he was in Davos, he interchanged Greenland and Iceland once or twice.
Yeah.
Which I have done. And I'm not 80 years old. We all know that I have issues with names.
You do.
And, you know, he was like, we're not at war. We don't want anything with Iceland. And Rubio comes in. He's like, you know, he got confused. I think we all are familiar with presidents getting confused with things.
Some more than others. And then it was just kind of quiet for a minute. And then Tim Kaine, you could see, he was like, okay, bye.
He's like, I see what you're doing there.
No, but when we were writing the Dawn Dispatch for this morning, Kate was like, I'm going to put in a section about Marco Rubio and I'm going to add some videos or whatever. And she's like, I'm going to title it Mic Drop Marco. And I was like, very good. He's good. He's just good at what he does.
There is a lot of stuff still happening on foreign policy. We've been focused domestically recently because there's been a lot happening in Minneapolis. But we are aware Venezuela's on the board right now. Iran is very much on the board right now. Things over there have escalated with the protests. We got an armada apparently heading over there. That tweet alone, I came out of the gym and I'm like, really, dude? Like, this is what you're doing out the bat.
First thing in the morning.
We got I think it was unfortunately the body of the last hostage in Israel was finally exchanged or retrieved. So there's a lot going on. Of course, Ukraine and Russia keep chugging along. So we will see. We might actually do a little update with Amanda and see.
We're gonna need to do that. See what she's focusing in on, what she's looking at.
She gets really obsessed with this type of stuff.
She does.
So,
she gets fired up. I love it so much.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go ahead and start wrapping us up. There is are you gonna go see the Melania movie or are you gonna wait?
Yeah, because the assistant to the regional manager is now doing like movie reviews.
Reviews.
So we just saw Mercy with Chris Pratt right before
which you told me was good.
It was good. And we do need to see Melania. That is on our list. So and she reviewed that. We're publishing the review for Mercy soon. She reviewed Pendragon Cycle, the first 2 episodes. And so we do want to see Melania. It just depends on if we can make it out. There's
that's tomorrow. It comes out tomorrow, right?
There's so many children, so many things going on, so many places to drive them. So
you can't just put them in a kennel like I do mine.
You cannot. Legally, morally.
That was a big sigh. I'm just I can't.
You cannot. Our enormous house is one big kennel for all of us.
Yes. All right. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and wrap us up for today's episode of Rivera and Reeves. If you're a paying subscriber, remember we will be here on Saturday at 11:30 live on Substack. So we hope to see you there and you can ask us questions and we can chat while we, just hang out and do our brunchy kind of Saturday thing. Right?
Yeah.
If you want to join us and you're not a paying subscriber, please click that link in the show notes and consider becoming a paying subscriber because it helps us out. You get all kinds of little benefits. And if you're already a subscriber to Rivera and Reeves, and maybe you want to also get the bonus extras from our individual Substacks, shoot Rachel an email if you want hers. Shoot me a DM or communicate with me on Substack, and we will share with you discounts that are exclusive for Rivera and Reeves subscribers. Or either way, maybe you subscribe to me and you want to subscribe to Rivera and Reeves, or you subscribe to Rachel, whichever way you want to go.
That's
we got deals for you. We got the hookup. Just send us a message. We'll verify your email and we'll share that discount code with you. Today's Thursday, so we'll be back on Tuesday to the public. Obviously, we're going to be here on Saturday for another episode of Rivera and Reeves. That's it. So here's a reminder that clearly, like we said today, the media is trash and we have no tolerance for it. Okay, bye.
Bye.